Hello, my name is Kaylin Mona Lisa and we are the Eye of Entebbe. Today seems to be the last day of the COVID-19 Memorial Week and we are here to find out what's going on. So follow me as we check it out. The COVID-19 Memorial Week is still going on and now we are with the Reverend who's going to say a few words to the public. Sir, please introduce yourself.
My name is Emmanuel Padel, the Ray Leader of St. Paul's Church, Kavale, Entebbe, and I'm proud to be part of this. I'm so glad. Thank you.
Okay, so he's the Reverend and he is the main leader of a church. So as a church, how do you think you guys are recovering from the COVID-19 effect?
First of all, many of us, the congregation and the leaders as well, got scared. But as per now, we have now learned to know that we have to live with it because it's now a new way we should live. In other words, it's a new normal for us to live. So we are recovering slowly, though steadily.
They are recovering slowly, though steadily. This is a reminder to everyone that it's not the end. And since it's not the end, what do you expect in the near future? What do you expect for the church? How do you think you guys are going to cope up to make people understand that it's not the end, because people are still scared out there?
We need to tell them, we have always told them and we have always encouraged everyone that when this came in, it did not mean that the world has ended there. So they have a life to lead, they have a future to lead, and so they have to work hard alongside COVID-19 because it has tortured almost every family, if not a relative, at least a friend. So we have to live alongside with it.
That was our Reverend telling us that it is not the end. You at home can do something. Put on your mask since COVID-19 is back, sanitize and do so many other things. Just don't lose hope because it's not the end. My name is Mona Lisa. What's your name?
My name is Frida.
Okay, Frida. What school are you from?
Pitt International School.
So, what are you here to do?
I'm here to celebrate the loss of our loved ones who died of COVID-19.
Okay, so what's your favorite memory during lockdown?
It was probably about my birthday because it was the best birthday because all our family had to come together and celebrate my birthday. So,
how old were you turning?
I was turning 13 by that time.
And by this time?
14.
Oh, so you're now 14. Great. How do you find this event? How have you found it so far?
It's so interesting because the
German ambassador.
Yeah, he's really. Yeah, I'm so surprised to have a look at him and.
Okay, so your experience is great so far. Okay. Do you have any message for anyone at home or out there?
Yeah, I want to advise them to stay safe because we've been told that COVID-19 is coming back. So, keep safe.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a student of Pretty telling us that they are here to commemorate their loved ones and also telling us that she finds the experience very nice and she is so surprised that we had the German ambassador here today. Thank you. Besides me here is the ambassador of Germany and we are going to ask him to introduce himself to the public.
Good afternoon, my name is Matthias Schauer and I came here to Uganda 2 years ago. And I feel very privileged to be in this wonderful country and to represent my country, Germany.
We are also honored to have you here in Uganda and we'd like you to tell us, how has Germany been recovering from the COVID-19 effect?
It has not been easy. I think altogether more than 100,000 people have died in Germany. And we have had huge infection figures. At the moment, it's under control, but like in Uganda, the numbers are increasing again.
Numbers are increasing again. And what do you think you can do? What do you think the public can do to prevent the third wave of COVID-19?
I think experience shows the only way to deal with it is through vaccination. And as I mentioned, a friend of mine here in Kampala, a German priest, died of COVID. He was not fully vaccinated, and I know of other people now who have COVID because they are vaccinated, the symptoms are quite mild. Even my own daughter a week ago had COVID and recovered quickly. Several ambassador colleagues have had COVID and recovered quickly. So I think vaccination is the only way forward.
Vaccination is the only way forward. Well, what was maybe your worst experience during the lockdown?
Well, for me, it was the lack of social contacts. That we had the curfew and there were no events organized where you could meet new people. You know, as a diplomat, you're as good as your network, and if your network only expands very slowly, then that's also frustrating. But of course, I mean, people dying and people suffering long-term effects from COVID is much, much more serious. And that's why Germany has tried also to help several countries around the world. We've donated 5.5 million doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine last December. And just this week I was able to hand over some syringes, part of 48 million syringes that Germany is donating to Uganda.
Well, we thank you for that generous donation to Uganda of the syringes. Well, what is that one memory that kept you going, like that kept you knowing that it is not the end? COVID is here, but it's not the end.
Personally, I mean, I never felt it was the end. I had COVID this year, the very first week of this year, and it was quite unpleasant, but I never had the feeling that this would endanger my life. So I can't say that I'm traumatized, but I mean the most negative experience is losing this dear friend, Frido Pflüger, the head of the Jesuit Refugee Service. I was in tears, and just this morning we had the one-year memorial service to commemorate his death, and that it still hurts having lost him. But personally, I'm in a privileged position that I'm in good health, that I'm vaccinated, and COVID hasn't affected me that dramatically.
May his soul rest in power. What message do you have for the public?
Get vaccinated. Please take COVID seriously. The numbers are rising, and if you're not vaccinated, you're playing with your life.
That there was the ambassador of Germany telling us, reminding us that it's not the end, and also that we should get vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, then it could end your life. Thank you. Besides me is a gentleman who I'd like to introduce himself. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Angudo Kenny Robert, and I'm the director of Victorian High School. Yes.
So, the director of Victorian High School, what brings you here today?
Today what actually brings me here is not about Victorian High School. What brings me here is about an association that we formed for the victims and survivors of COVID-19. So we set up an association that brings together all people that were affected by COVID-19 and lockdown. So today we had a closure of a week-long program that involved a number of events, and among them was this service, the one we named the Memorial Service for all the victims and survivors of COVID-19. That's why I'm here.
Okay, that's why you're here. It's not related to Victorian High School. What was your inspiration for this whole week? What was your inspiration for this whole event?
As a matter of fact, I lost two people. I lost my brother and I lost my mom. Those two have been my major inspiration. So I decided that if we've all had our own issues during this time, it is only fair enough if we shared our sorrows or our hard times as a group as well. So that is why we decided that we should call the entire community of Entebbe to come around and share with us the moments they went through during the COVID time and the hard times they actually had after COVID. We are not saying, of course, that COVID is done, but I think we've been through the worst. And we think that at this point, it is a bit more relaxed than what we actually went through during the early days. So that is the major purpose. That is the major point for us being here today.
Okay. So, as the CVSA, what have you achieved so far?
Our main target was to let the public know what we actually went through as victims and survivors of COVID-19. I think we've achieved that. We gathered a number of information, enough information from the victims and survivors. We've reached out to a number of companies, a number of people, a number of organizations. We've let everybody know what this means to us as people that were actually directly affected by COVID-19 and people that actually lost their loved ones. So we think that we've achieved our objective, and we know that we can only get better because this is going to be an annual event. So perhaps the things that didn't go right within this time, we are 100% sure that the next one will be a bigger one when people have opened up even more about their experiences with COVID-19. Yeah.
What is the memory in COVID-19 that made you sure that it's not the end, that there's still hope?
I mean, I survived. Right now as I speak, I still have my oxygen cylinder at home. I would have been one of those guys that actually passed on. I'm not any special from my mom. I'm not any special from my brother. All the other souls that departed us. So, if you still have a chance to live, then definitely it's not the end for you. So that's why we came up with a theme that, come on, if we still live to tell the tale we went through, then it's actually not the end. We still have a chance. We still live on. We still have time, at least to go through the good memories we had with our own people. So that is why we decided to have a major theme of telling everybody that it's not the end. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the major theme. It's not the end. What message do you have for the public referring to COVID?
For the families, I can only do as much as I can do. We've been there for a number of them. We've shared with them. I can only tell them to be strong. It is not easy. It is a year since I lost my two beloved ones, but it just seems like yesterday. So you can't, it's not something you can explain to anybody to be understood easily, but you can only be there for someone. So for as long as they need somebody to talk to, somebody to be there for them, our arms are still open. So we want to share with them, we want to be with them, and we really want to be there when they need us most. So take heart, can never be the end, it's not the end yet. So just know that there are people out there that care for all of you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That there was the director of Victorian High School and also the chairperson of the CVSA, reminding you that it's not the end, and if you still have your life, don't give up hope. Thank you. Besides me is a gentleman who would like to introduce himself. Sir, introduce yourself.
By the names of Kagwa Andrew Wani, the publicity on this committee of the COVID-19 Survivors and Victims Association.
Okay. Sir, what remarks do you have about this event?
First of all, I would thank the Almighty God who has given us this opportunity to hold this very important function, the first of the kind in Uganda. I would say it is such a great occasion to organize this function, which has helped us bring back the memories of all those who lost their lives during the COVID-19 pandemic. Probably many didn't know that we lost people, but this function has brought out that. It has opened up the entire community to what COVID was, because people have shared a lot on this very important day. Yes, please.
Okay, knowing that you are a teacher, how do you think teachers, students, how do you think the schools are recovering from the COVID-19 effect?
Yeah. Schools are doing their level best, honestly, to recover. One of the major impacts that we had, students had gone in different fields. Most of them had left studies, and we are trying, actually we've tried our level best to bring them back to the education system. Though still, some are still a little bit inclined to the life of working. However, people have continued to realize that's not yet the end. They need to continue on with their studies so that they can be able to secure the future. Though the other way around, COVID, though it has been more of negative than positive, but it has also brought some positive part of life, given the fact that people have realized that it's not always good to rely on one thing, especially in terms of activity, in terms of a skill. And that is why students right now are doing their level best to diversify their skills. Let it be dancing, let it be playing football, let it be playing netball. The most important thing that COVID has taught these students is to acquire something else beyond the books. So I believe they'll be able to recover, as well as teachers.
Okay, they'll be able to recover. It's not the end. What message do you have for the public regarding it's not the end?
Yeah. Honestly speaking, COVID took the public to a point that they did not have any other hope. When you check some homes or some families that could not have something to eat, we have news of families that actually committed suicide. Therefore, this theme of today is assuring the public that no matter the suffering that we've gone through, it's not the end. In simple terms, there is a way out amidst all the challenges that we are going through. The survivors that we have here, the victims, are some of the people who almost lost their lives. But they fought so hard to the extent that they're still living. It's a lesson to all those outside there. When faced with challenges, more so of the COVID-19, there's need to think of an alternative that can help you continue with life. Yes, please.
Thank you so much. That there was the MC of this ceremony. He is also a teacher. He has explained to you that people lost a lot of things, but that helped them improve their talents. He has taught us the positive side of COVID-19 and teaching us that it's not the end. So for you out there, please don't lose hope. Keep going. It's not the end.